Okay, welcome everybody. Namaste to you all. Great to be here. And we got a lot of wind going out here in Northern California, a lot of dynamic energy. We're going to start with bringing in the second yama. And remember, yamas are ethical principles for yourself and society. And they seem pretty simple, but a lot of them have these deeper levels to it, like everything, right? So just a quick review. The first yama is ahimsa, do no harm, nonviolence. And that, I forgot to say, that's really a heart chakra experience. Okay, so the second yama is a throat chakra connected to heart chakra experience. And I want to link poses that connect both of those. And the second yama is satya, which is truthfulness. Truthfulness, honesty, that expression of your heart, and then truthfulness of living your truth. So there's the expression of it, and then there's living your truth, which is a whole, a whole lifetime of figuring that out and embodying that. So that's the second yama. I'll weave it through our class today. And then the request for poses is for strength and courage and fearlessness. And we certainly need that in these times and always, but especially in these times. So I'd like to start with the mudra of fearlessness. There is Abhaya is the name, if you want to look it up, A-B-H-A-Y-A. Abhaya is it's a very simple gesture. You see it in a lot of Buddhist icons. And what it is that, we all have fears and we want to be able to overcome them. So this particular gesture is a gesture of fearlessness and safety and courage. And we want to link it to a pranayama practice. So very simple, left hand, thumb, index finger together. Right hand, you want to just bring that thumb at the base of the index. So you'll see this in Buddhist statues and other deity formations. So we'll exhale through the mouth and soften the shoulders. We'll do an inhale to 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the mouth. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 more times. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more time on your own, at your own pace, at your own timing. Just feel that effect. And then, of course, what we can control is our thoughts. So we want to bring ourselves back to fearlessness, to safety, to strength and courage. So this mudra will do it. And as you don't have time to do, a whole yoga practice, you could do this mudra with the intention. You could do a couple poses just to keep linking in your intention of moving through life with safety, security, and fearlessness. Even though it's natural to have fears, we want to bring those up and then give ourselves the deeper truth of living with spirit and safety and fearlessness. Okay. I'll come to the mat. And I'll keep checking to see. There's one person that I know wanted to come on but isn't on yet. All right. Make sure you have a blanket in your props for the knees. And a little bit different in our cat stretch. So we're going to do a classic cat with the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips a couple times, but then we're going to think of it like a side cat with the elbow, and I'll demo it here. Inhale, scooping out the low, mid, upper back, eye gaze up. And exhale, going within. Chin tucking to the hollow of the throat, back of the heart, reaching up to the sky. Inhale. Scoop it out. Exhale, folding in. Okay, neutral spine. Now, if you want, you can have your left wrist turning in or fingertips pointing forward, whatever works for you. And we're going to bring our right hand on the right shoulder. We're going to open up the heart and the throat. As you inhale, lift the tip of the elbow up, twist the torso, eye gaze up. And then exhale, fold in with that elbow to elbow. We'll do 3 of these. Opening the heart to trust and safety. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, folding in. Feel the connection, especially with the heart and the throat today, the first 2 yamas. Inhale. And folding in, exhale. Now this one we're going to add on, we're going to thread the needle, meaning let that hand come down and from the whole torso, sweep the right arm up, eye gaze up, and we're going to thread the needle. We're going to thread this right arm through, turning onto the right side of the head, bending the left elbow, and you play. I'm going to kind of rock across the side, top of the right side of the brain here, bringing up, suck energy. You do this a couple times, you can have that left arm extended. Breathing deep into the belly. Really, really feel, allow yourself to tune in to the oceanic sound of the breath. Now, if you want to add on, you can extend, well, let's not do that quite yet. We want to warm up a little bit more. Let's come back. I felt that in my body, just be attempt at that. Okay, move the hips side to side. If you want to add a little figure 8. And let's do a full body stretch before we go to the other side, downward facing dog. So take your time, hover off of the knees, lift the tailbone to the sky, nose to the toes. Any way you like. And allowing the calmness, peace, or you can take it, you know, you think of the opposite of fear. It could be a lot of things. It could be trust, it could be peace. The classic affirmation is calmness radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Gonna ripple. Personally, just give it that flow going. Feels great, wave-like action. And then we come down onto the knees. And either bringing the left fingertips forward or the left fingertips facing the left hand. I'm going to turn this way, maybe you can see a little bit better. With this left hand on the shoulder, twisting the torso, but especially the heart. And then bringing that left elbow to the right. This way. And just flow in a pace that feels good to you. Inhaling, opening the heart to peace, safety, security, folding in. Fearlessness. Inhale, pulsing up 3 times at your pace. And then folding in. Good. Now we're going to extend the arm from the torso, okay, from the shoulder, not just yanking that arm up. Threading the needle, making sure now you have the right fingertips pointing inward, bending the right elbow, threading the needle, and then to the left side of the head, and rocking back and forth, massaging the brain, those nerves, those pathways we want to open up in a flow state, releasing congestion. If you want to extend that arm, go ahead and do that. That's more of a stable pose. If you like the rocking back and forth, go with that. Deep breath, belly to heart. And when you feel complete, we'll come back to our wonderful cat stretch. And then one extension up, inhale. Open through all the chakras, but especially the throat and the heart today. And now rounded spine. Inhale, neutral spine, hover off the knees or back, press into all the 4 points of the hands. And let's add the peace radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Stay with it. Tune into what feels good to you. Breathing in, breathing out. And then when you're ready to transition, what we're going to do here is come into our plank, strong line of energy. Don't let the head or the belly collapse. And then we're going to come into forearm plank. So we'll bring one forearm down, then the other. Same thing without collapsing. See if you can do 3 breaths here. If not, that's fine. You know, involve, if you haven't done so already, come on to the top of the knees, the hips, uncurl the toes, and we'll allow ourselves to come into this Sphinx pose. So we lift into our back and lift the legs strong. 3 breaths here. Not quite full cobra yet. Just rising up to new opportunities. And maybe add a little twist, looking over one shoulder, back to center, and over to the other, back to center. And from here, we'll do that one more time. So we'll keep the forearm strength, because we need strength to combat the fear, okay? And courage. We're going to lift up, navel to the spine, 3 breaths. Feel everything active here. And forearm plank. Great strength pose. And then coming on top of the knees, unfurling into Sphinx, getting strong in the legs, tops of the feet, the line of energy through the central channel, piercing the heart of worries. And let's take it now into either half cobra or full Bhujangasana. Okay. So you rise, we're rising joyfully. Inhale, either halfway or all the way. Add the lion's breath. Stick out the tongue, look up. A couple times. I rise joyfully to meet today's opportunities, life's opportunities. We don't know what today is going to bring. Okay, and then let the knees touch down. Before we go to down dog or forward fold, let's take a moment. Now, not everybody is comfortable sitting like this, which is fine. If you're more comfortable sitting cross-legged, go ahead and do that. Coming back, Abhaya Mudra. Couple breaths here. It's the mudra of fearlessness, safety, and security. Familiar with the mudra. And sometimes we have to be more proactive in slicing out the fears. So this is a great twist energy that I'm going to demonstrate next to be more active in that ha exhale. So we're going to bring our fingertips onto the tops of the shoulders, circle our wings, our angel wings. Course in Miracles, one of the many sayings I love is that if you knew who was walking beside you, you would be fearless. Take that however you like. So we're opening up, and then we're going to go HA to one side. Inhale, and then now I'm breaking it down, but it actually goes faster than that. But if you want to do the come back to center and then to the other side, or if you want to take it faster, keep going. Inhale, opening up, reaching behind you. Let's have our fingertips point away. Open, bring the lower lip above the upper lip. Really opening the throat chakra. Again, that truthfulness, that expression from the heart to the throat, and that truthfulness within ourselves, being true to ourselves. A lot going on here. And then slowly coming back to center, release the lower lip. We're going to draw the knees in, and we're going to extend that left leg out. We haven't done this one in a while. Rocking the baby. Okay, so we lift the right foot up, and we can maybe rock side to side, opening the hip. And perhaps, I'll turn them to the side. I don't always use this affirmation because I don't always use this pose. So yes, the pulling the bow pose. With shafts of will, I pierce the heart of worries. With shafts of will, I pierce the heart of worries. So half bow classically would be holding here and then reaching forward if that's in your practice, okay? If that's not, you're going to continue rocking the baby. With shafts of will, I pierce the heart of worry. Or worries. If this is too much, you can do knee on top of knee. And you really feel how that gets into the fear at the back of the knee. Shafts of will, I pierce the heart of worries. Okay, inhale. I kind of like that knee on top of knee. We'll do that to the other side, that flow, and see what works for you. So as we bring this right knee up, we extend. You can use a strap here. You can extend the leg and let that heel reach past the other leg, the other foot. Excellent. Okay. Bending the left knee, taking it in stages, seeing how this side does. First, just gonna hydrating the left hip. And rocking the baby. Side to side. It's this combination of strength and nurturing. Because truthfulness, and you know, there's a vulnerability to fear and sometimes speaking our truth, right? It's not always easy. Okay, situation by situation. Now, if you want to bring yourself into this particular pose, I'm finding I like bringing the knee on top of the knee and then reaching up, first with the heart and then folding over. With shafts of will, I pierce the heart of worries. What we just did was pulling the bow. With shafts of will, I pierce the heart of worries. When you melt into it more, you can round the spine. And come up, inhale. Feel the space all around you as well as within you as we then fold this left knee over, use the strap or interlock and stretch that left leg up and then reach out from the hip. Maybe this heel gets longer than the other heel. Shake it out. Shake it out. Okay. Let's transition here. We're going to come up with the fingertips facing forward, rolling onto the ball of the feet and the toes. Actually, yeah, rolling up. Well, let's roll into a really working the reflex points of the feet. Like for a moment, go back or extend the head back if the neck's okay. Otherwise, tuck at the chin and then rolling back again. So we lift the toes, do it one more time, really working the reflex points of the feet. Take those back. Now this is the beginning of reverse tabletop. So reverse tabletop, coming off the blanket, you walk the feet out a little bit more, you lift those hips as high as you can. Again, protected of the neck if your neck's okay. Keep lifting the hips. Keep the inner arms magnetizing toward one another, the inner thighs magnetizing toward one another. Strong, it's meant to be strong. And then tucking the chin, and then we do that scooping with the hips, walking the feet in that rolling to transition, one hand and the other, all the way into our forward fold. Big hip width apart. Now, we do this one a lot. I'm relaxing, cast aside any unnecessary mental worries, mental burdens. Literally shaking it out, massaging the scalp, casting aside any unnecessary mental burdens, fears, worries. We can have fears and worries. You can make each affirmation specific to what you need. Now we're going to come up with the knees bent in our half chair, Uttasana. Then reach the arms back. And sweep the arms forward, keeping the knees bent. Pulsing here. Inhale, rising up into mountain pose. Feel the space all around you and you exhale. Feel those feet a little bit closer. Swirl it up. That. energy all around you as well as within you. Take a moment in our standing pose. You can bring in the hand gesture, Abhaya gesture of fearlessness, taking a breath, belly, heart, spiritual eye, crown, and exhaling the gesture of fearlessness. I know I'm doing the index finger because I'm so used to it, but it's actually it's actually like that. Okay, very good. All right, we're gonna do our standing pose flow. Just checking, making sure no one's trying to get on. Okay, now I haven't taught this in a while. This is from the Ashtanga series of opening up the throat chakra, opening up that truthfulness. So do no harm in truthfulness. This could get really tricky because, as we all know, we've been in probably many situations, I know I have, where if I be truthful, is that causing harm? I mean, it's a pretty tricky situation. So we each have to navigate those two yamas and see which comes out the most predominant for you. Okay. Interlocking, bringing the knuckles underneath the chin. And what this looks like, you'll just watch first and we'll all do it together. We're going to inhale, the elbow tips come up. And then on the exhale, the head goes back and we exhale through the throat strongly. Forearms, elbow tips touch, wrist touch, and then we come back to center again. We'll do this 4 times, okay, clearing through the throat chakra. Inhale, frame the face, head goes back, exhale, elbows, forearms, wrist touch, and then back in parallel. Can't help but feel that. Inhale, frame the face, head goes back, big exhale, wrists, forearms, elbow tips touch, and then chin parallel. One more. Inhale, exhale, head goes back. Strong release of the throat chakra. So maybe we choose to let all that out through the throat and write in our journal or talk to somebody about the truthfulness of perhaps what you're experiencing with another person, and then we decide to say that if that's going to cause harm or we do it non-violently. There's all these nuances to it. Inhale, reaching up. And our classic half moon, clasping your left wrist, or if you want to do the interlock, you're welcome to with the thumb, index finger. Stretching to the side, tailbone down. Strength and courage, fill my body cells. Really feel your legs strong. Your eye gaze can be gently up. Strength and courage, fill my body cells. Inhale, coming back to center. As we do those W arms, we can add that big exhale. Back. Inhale, back up again, clasping the right wrist, arcing over in our half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Really root down through both legs as you affirm strength and courage. Fill my body cells. Strength and courage. Fill my body cells. Excellent. Inhale, coming back up. And that big exhale through the throat in W arms. And then floating the arms down again. We want the classic mudra, thumb, index finger, individual self-uniting with the infinite. yogic breathing through the central channel, the spiritual eye, and out in front of you. Receiving that light, wisdom, clarity, peace, fearlessness. You was walking beside you, you'll be fearless. There will be no fear. Okay, Course in Miracles. Bring the hands together. Bringing in, opening to the light and the dawning of higher consciousness for all beings. As we do, I'm trying to do 3-part flow here. And this will make sense as we go into it. So, opening the heart, reaching behind you if possible for interlock, or use your strap to help you out. Very much a deep heart, ahimsa, heart opener here. No harm. Bending the knees like a chair pose with the interlock. Okay, head to tail connected. A couple more breaths here. 3 breaths total. And this pose. And as we've done many times, we're slicing through, releasing the fear. Coming into Uttasana. Inhale, 3 breaths. Piercing the fear out. Those worries with shafts of wheel, I pierce out those fears or worries. So we slice through the fears, we interlock again. 3 breaths, head to tail connected. And what are we bringing in? We know what we're releasing. Perhaps for you, it's trust as we sweep up. Maybe it's peace. Whatever you want to affirm, 3 breaths, it's strong, right? Inhale, coming up. And feeling the space around you. Back to our gesture of fearlessness. Abhaya Mudra. Shoulders soften. Be on the lookout for statues with this gesture. There's a lot of them up there. Okay. Now, come into the front of your mat. Again, tapping in to the light of consciousness within yourself at the spiritual eye, and the dawning of higher consciousness at the crown for all beings. Large toes turn in as we sweep forward. Fold. And then inhale, squeezing out the low, mid, upper back. And we're going to bend the knees, and we're going to step back with the right foot. Spin it into our warrior 1. First, we're going to do a couple classic warrior 1s as we come up, and then we're going to add that lunging variation. Okay? Physical points, left hip back, right hip forward. Make sure the feet are spread wide enough. You decide how deep you want to go here. The deeper you go, the more you're going to feel it. Press through that little toe side of the back foot. Inhaling. Reaching the arms to the sky. Exhale, elbows bent in line with the shoulders. And then come forward. I attune my will to the source of all power. I attune my will to the source of all power. And then reach out with the arms. Interlock. Come forward. Left shoulder can touch that left knee or thigh. Bowing to the wisdom of the heart. Keep lifting the knuckles to the sky, hips toward the earth as much as you can.
The shafts of will piercing the heart of worry. 3 breaths here. And then releasing the hands down. We're going to rotate and spin off of that back heel. Step it back to plank. We're working more with forearm plank today. So if you can, bring one forearm down, then the other. 3 breaths. Maybe you can be here longer than you think. And then tops of the knees, maybe not. Come down, unfurl. Touch into the Sphinx pose to feel that wonderful back bend. And then we'll go into whatever variation of Cobra works for you. Inhale, we come up. Without the tongue, rising up to meet whatever is going to appear today. Free of fear, ideally. And then the knees touch down. One rounded cat to do the opposite of the cobra. You can ease back onto your heels more if you like. You can always rest in prayer and child, you know that, right? Neutral spine, hover off the knees, magnetize the heart toward the thighs, tread it out. Peace radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Feel the sacrum widening. Feel the space between each vertebra. Feel the mind, the brain being cleansed in this inversion. And what we'll do is we'll draw the inner borders of the feet together. And root down. Feel the difference there when the feet come closer together. We're going to lift that right leg up. If possible, bend the knee to the chest, step it through, take your time, spin that left foot out. 45 degrees, 30 degrees, whatever works for you. As we come up, and drawing, of course, the right hip back, the left hip forward, the tailbone down. Different on this side. Keep strong through this back leg. We'll angle out. As we go into our warrior, our Virabhadrasana 1. Warriors are piercing the heart of the worries and fears every time we do a warrior pose. Okay? Bringing those arms in like we're pulling weights. Bring the forearms toward one another, root down. I attune my will to the source of all power. Keep pulsing. Opening the heart. This time, we'll reach out to the side. Really expanding through the arms, the hands interlocking, lifting the heart and coming forward. Use your strap, use any variation. You can come down on that left knee if you want. Keep the knuckles to the sky. Now into the wisdom of the heart. 3 breaths here. Very deep in the belly. Inhale, look to the front of your mat, release the hands, set it up, just step it back into our regular plank. And then our forearm plank. Strength pose. 3 breaths. This is great core strengthening, by the way, as well as strengthening through the entire body. Knees touch down. Heart lifts up, unfurl, strong legs, Sphinx pose. And then let's take breaths. Let's bend elbows out to the side. Let's stack one hand on top of the other. Rest of the spiritual eye. Soften the shoulders. So the other side of the strength is the vulnerability of the heart. You want to bring compassion, especially to that vulnerability. For many people, this is a harder practice because their culture is so strong on the self-determination. So softening into compassion with the vulnerability as well. That's all part of the strength, the other side of the strength, and the equal side of the strength. We're going to rise up joyfully to meet each opportunity. As we inhale, we come up. Take out the tongue, lion's breath. Knees touch down. We're just going to pour back right away into our three-legged dog, pressing into the thumb, index finger more so. And the left leg lifts up. That's it. The left knee bends to the chest, and we giant step forward. We just set it up enough to come up with that backward spinning. We're not going to do a warrior one again. We're going to do that lunge as promised, that knee down lunge into a camel, half camel. Okay, so we're off the back heel. What we're going to do here is bring the arms out, bend the elbows, and then bring that right knee down as much as you can. It doesn't have to touch. Mine's not going to touch. And then we're going to reach up on the inhale. So first get the physical formation. Exhale, root down. Almost to touching. Very strong. Inhale, rising up. The strength building poses. 3s today. Great. And reaching up. Now this one, we come down. Be careful here. I'm going to bring my hands on the hip and come all the way down onto that knee. And this is where you want your block by your side or a blanket maybe. Or you can fold the mat to get more support of the knee. We're going to do our half camel ustrasana. So we're already on this right knee. Another opposite of fear could be faith, okay? And the affirmation in this pose, as we sweep back with, you can bring that block up. You can bring your hand at the back of the thigh. You don't have to go too far, way far back here. With calm faith, the same arm, same leg. With calm faith, hips forward. I open to the light. Nadi Mudra here. With calm faith, I open to the light. You're looking up. This is a very deep back bend. Ardha Ustrasana, half camel. With calm faith, I open to the light. Very good. 3 breaths, reaching up. And then the other hand comes down. Have your block by your side. Now, we're going to go to the other side, of course, but before we do that, we're going to have the knees touch down. And we're going to rest in child's pose. We're going to take that in. So that opposite movement, that forward folding movement. Stable or rocking gently across the hairline. And from child's pose, we are going to move into hare or rabbit pose, Sasangasana. Okay, it's been a while since I taught this one as well. The forehead toward the knees, you can hold onto the heels. You're going to keep curled and rounded as we roll onto the crown of the head. So we lift the hips up, the arms straighten, the inner heels touch if they can, stay with it. Very interesting affirmation here. I am master of my body. I am master of myself. I am master of my body. I am master of myself. So taking that mastery in with the higher self, guiding you. And then coming out, sinking, letting the sit bones touch the heels. And this can feel claustrophobic in child's pose, okay? If it's too much, so you can open the knees wider, you can bring your hands forward. So give yourself some space here. I'm a master of my body, I'm a master of myself. So that big self, the higher self, opening to it, pouring and through our individual self. But the key is as we roll up, is that opening to it, right? The individual self, the ego self is so used to just taking it all on, and we make that, we open up and we are much more open to receive higher wisdom, guidance, calmness, peace. But it's up to us to open, of course. Okay, really important switch there. All right, we are going to step. Let's see what's the best way to get into this. Well, I'm going to just walk it back. Forward folded Ustrasana, so hip side to side. And hands up the hips, coming up, heart lifting. Stepping your right foot forward. You have my block by this side. Use a blanket here if you want. For our knee tap lunges into Ardha Ustrasana, camel pose. Okay, frontal facing hips. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, elbows draw in line with the shoulders, and that left knee touches down. Maybe not the earth, hovering. Inhale, pulsing up. You're working with the affirmation with shafts of will that pierce the heart of worries. 3 total. With shafts of will and pierce the heart of worries. See what affirmation speaks to you out of the ones we work with today. Could be a couple. But it's a little tricky. It's a little harder on my balance on this side, I'm noticing. I'm going to touch down that knee. And I'll release the arms down. I'm bringing my block over here. Somewhere by the outer shin. Okay. And you could decide, or it could be on the back of your thigh, because this is a deep back bend. So we're going to sweep that left hand back first to make contact. And you may notice, like I am, this is a way different story going on on this side. As the right arm lifts up, the hips come forward. Eye gaze up. With calm faith, I open to the light. If you have a personal deity, you can With calm faith, I open to thy light. Master, God, Goddess figure that you attune to. With calm faith, I open to thy light. Walking alone. Inhale, coming up. Very deep pose, Urdhva Ustrasana. And then we come forward. And then we rest. And let's go into a prayer pose. So that is the arms are out wider and the arms down by your side. The knees are out wider. You can rest at the spiritual eye. You can bring a bolster or blanket under that area. And breathe, just receiving the openings we've created through the third stage, the asanas of yoga, of the 8 stages. Many of us are familiar with the third, fourth, and 7th stages. The third is asana. The fourth is pranayama, breath work. 7th, meditation. And we're working on the first one, the yama, satya, truthfulness. And ahimsa, do no harm. Throat and heart chakras. A lot of throat and heart chakras. You may have noticed that in our postures today. Okay. So from here, we're going to come up. Or walk our hands back, I should say. We're lifting the upper body up. And then we're going to come onto our back. Yay. All right. This is where it gets kind of right out there, a little glary. Hopefully you can still see me. All right. Plug in the feet. Before we come back, I should say we'll do a Navasana in both poses before we come back. Good for core work. All right. So we're going to come onto the sit bones. Now you can hold on to the sides of the knees, the backs of the thighs. Try to bring the shins parallel to the floor. I know I'm starting to round it. You want to lift through the heart. Tap down the right foot. I'm going to release the hands. Exhale through the mouth. You could hold on if you want. Every time you switch, blow out the candle. Look at the tips of the toes. Palms, arms strong. Finish equally on both sides. And then lengthen up. And then take a moment to ease down. So we're going to ease down. Low back, mid back, upper back. Press through the feet, iron out the spine. Arms, angel wings coming out to the side. And then hugging in of the knees to the chest, to the heart. Free in my heart, I live without fear, or I live with less fear. Iron out the back of your heart. Free in my heart. I live without fear as I attune to my higher self, not going through life alone. Free in my heart. I live without fear. Any variation of that. That's what we're going for. And our practice today is less fear. Classic. To do this every time. Inner borders of the feet together, knees apart. 3 times in one direction. And 3 times in its opposite. Okay, we did the lunging, the bent knee lunge. Now we're going to do the lying down lunge into our twist. As you said, we're folding in the right knee, to the shoulder. We're extending that left leg straight out. Feeling the left toes back. It's active, even though that calf can be on the ground, it's active. The left leg, we circle around. Vibrating. Remember we did that sitting up. And we're rocking the baby variation. Bursting through the five words. Lying down lunge, we lift that leg up, we climb up to the calf. You can use your strap, hover that left heel off the ground. Exhale, draw that right knee inside the armpit. If you're wanting more, lift the head. So cradle, thread this arm through, the left arm behind you, looking toward the left armpit. If that's too much, we go back to the lying down lunge. Okay, whatever feels right to you, play with it and see. Have fun, try something different. So we may have a semi-routine of the day, but we want to be open every day. We don't know, what's going to appear. We're open to it. That's this pose. And plan on this one. We're going to come into our final spinal here. Plant the right foot down. Swivel the hips to the right. And opposite arm to the knee, pulsing back and forth. Head's going along. You know how I feel about this when I try to do it in class, but I do it pretty much every day. If you can extend it, the leg, go ahead. Or if you want to keep that knee bent, roll the left toes up. And here we go with the windshield wiper arm. As that right arm comes up and around, divine light is within me and all around me. Free in my heart, I live without fear. Divine light is within me and all around me. 3 times. Have access to looking out the window, see what the is doing. Plant that right foot, swivel the hips. Hold the right knee in. Extend the right leg up, reach through the ball of the foot. Plug in the shoulders, palms face one another, and simultaneously stretch. Stretch, stretch. Right heel, right arm, extend, extend, extend. And then wide Shavasana, just feel that solar energy. Pathways open. Meridians flowing freely. And then inner borders of the feet together. Of course, you guessed it, lower side, left side, we're going to do the deal and see what this side brings as we fold the left knee in and hydrate. Opening the hip. Already, right? Brain's getting ready for Shavasana. Feel it. And we're going to climb, lying down lunge, climb up the calf, use the strap, hover that right heel off the ground. It's dynamic, the spine's elongated. If you want to chant, try this, lift the upper body, go back to plugged in, grab that left elbow inside the knee, this right upper arm may be behind the head, cradling it. Come up. As you breathe in and breathe out. Really deep belly breathing here, no matter what position you're in and you're lying down lunge. Bring in my heart. I live with that feeling. Or with less fear, whatever feels more truthful to you. We're always affirming the highest truth in our affirmations. But without, if that seems too much, I'm moving with less and less fear. And then coming back. And I know what I can do to counteract the fear when it comes up. So we can control our thoughts. Fear's connected to movement. Add the twist, plant that left foot down. Pulse back and forth. Literally washing out the stuck physical energy. And even more subtle, that mental thought energy, emotional energy. All right, you can extend the leg or not as we rotate the right toes up, press through the right elbow, open wide heart. Head's going along for the ride as the left arm comes up and around. Divine life is within me and all around me. If you can, look to something more expansive where you are. It's very helpful in nature. Divine life is within me and all around me. When it's time, if it's been 3 rotations, we bend the knee. We plant that left foot, we swivel and adjust. We fold the left knee in. We extend the left leg to the sky, reaching the ball of the foot, arms reach up, shoulders plug in, palms face one another. And simultaneously stretching the arms overhead. When that left heel touches, stretch through the left arm, left torso, left leg. And then go wide in your Shavasana. Really take several breaths here to feel the lunar energy opening and expanding. Taking a moment, Supta Baddha Konasana, bringing the palm of the hand on the belly, the hand on the heart, central channel. We're not going opposites now, we're coming in the non-duality. Just a couple rounds before we go into Shavasana. Belly, heart, crown on the inhale. Crown, heart, belly, feet on the exhale. Neutralizing those waves of opposites. You can literally most likely feel that. As we tend to right and left solar lunar energies, we come into the central channel and neutralize the opposites. And then being honest with yourself, truthful with yourself, and seeing what pose would be best for you for Shavasana today. Legs up the wall, half shoulder stand is very wonderful for the reverse of the blood flow and circulation in its habitual pattern. You can continue with Supta Baddha Konasana or any of the combinations. Feet on the wall, bolster, you know. So listening within is also an aspect of Satya, being honest and truthful with yourself, with what feels good. So taking your time, getting nested, getting warm, getting cozy. I'm going to get maybe a drink, water, a blanket. Truthful and honest, and it feels right. Then our Shavasana. As you're getting settled in,
One of the psychological tools to working with safety is literally to draw safety, to draw a place that you feel safe. You know, of course, not right now, but later today, if that speaks to you. Then you can also, I'll guide us through visualizing a place of safety, which is classic at stage of the Shavasana practice. Okay. So don't mind these sounds. We're getting some tech stuff worked out. Settling within. Free in my heart. I live without fear. And it's the affirmation, one of the many we've been working with. She'll guide us through the body scan from the top down, maybe easing your head from side to side. Relaxing the neck, the throat, satya, the quality of truthfulness. Listening within to the heart and expressing that in different ways outwardly. Letting the micro muscles of the eyes soften deeply, the eyelids, the eyebrows even, as well as the any lines of tension in the forehead, let them soften. Head stabilizes in line with the spine now, and if you want to exaggerate a yawn, go ahead, or a simple double breath exhale, short, long. Letting go through sound. Feel the oceanic sound at the back of the throat, the root of the tongue, the tip of the tongue, no sensation there inside of the throat. Let that Om sound vibrate through your throat and dropping deeper into the cave of the heart. Where we can expand that heart quality, peace, of protection, of safety, of courage. Maybe visualize a place, maybe you're in it, of protection, peace, and safety. And when insecurity or fear comes up, we could wrap around with a bigger realization of the truth of who we are, already whole, already free, already aware. Releasing the shoulders and feeling sensation radiating down the arms. From the heart. Softening sensation, noticing sensation in the palms of the hands, digits of the fingers. And really dropping deep into the belly now, in the ribs, the low back. Feel that oscillation of the breath. Belly and heart connected. Calm faith. I open to thy light. Calm faith. I open to thy light. Whoever's resting on the earth, let that really get heavier, supported, even deeper rest. Traveling down from the thighs, the knees, the calves, all the way through the ankles, the soles of the feet, digits of the toes. Relaxed, yet aware. Feeling the medicine of awareness. Already whole, already free. Returning to the truth of who you are. And that's the deeper aspect of Satya, returning to the truth that you are spirit, you are wholeness, as we soften our personal identity and even our form. We turn to the deep truth of Satya. And we rest in that more and more. And the beauties of the home practice, you can choose to stay in Shavasana as long as you like. If you want to return to movement, it's up to you. You can do that in any way you like. Classic to wiggle the fingers and toes and eventually rest on your right side. It's more restful to the heart. And whether you're lying down or gradually sitting up, we will send the prayers of care to others through sound, through the three-syllable Om sound. It's a vibrational sound. There's three sounds in Sanskrit symbolize all the sounds, so the root of all sounds, vibrational energy. Ka, ho, e. So either bringing the hands to the heart, bring the palms open, whatever you feel comfortable with, visualizing those others you would like to send healing prayers to. Picture them at the spiritual eye. Slow inhale. Just take a moment again in Abhaya mudra with the right, if you're sitting out, let's see, right thumb underneath the index finger, left palm up. A gesture of safety, protection, and fearlessness. Root in that, stabilize in that. You're natural to come out of that, we can come back to the truth of rooted in fearlessness, a gesture. And then we bring the hands together in Namaste, acknowledging that divine awareness within everyone and everything. Bowing to the wisdom of our heart, that's where we are one. And letting it lead the way as you go into your day. I'm going to stop the recording part of this.